In line with the Commission's medium-term corporate plan and strategy 2012 to 2014 document, the NCC, the Nigerian Copyright Commission, should maintain the momentum in key areas of enforcement and prosecution. Significant attention will be given to the ongoing process of reform of the copyright system, which was publicly launched in Abuja on the 8th of November 2012. 2 consecutive meetings were held with the music and broadcast industries, respectively, following the public launch of the reforms. We intend to continue with the consultative meetings with specific industry and public sector stakeholders in the first and second quarters of the year. Furthermore, a validation workshop to discuss a new draft copyright bill and other issues arising from the consultations is expected to hold during the year. The Commission will also intensify its regulatory activities, particularly in the areas of strengthening collective management of rights, upscaling our monitoring and regulation of operations of other copyright businesses like the optical disc replicating plants. We will maintain our collaborative linkages, both international and domestic partners, including the US Patent and Trademarks Office, the UK Intellectual Property Office, the International Federation of Phonographic Industries, Queensland University of Technology, Australia, the Nelson Mandela Institute of African University of Science and Technology, Nigerian Customs Services, Nigerian Police Force, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, National Information Technology Development Agency, to mention a few. As we express our appreciation to our Supervising Minister, the Honourable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Mohamed Bello Adoke, SAN, and all our collaborating partners and stakeholders for the enormous support in the last year, we continue to solicit their support to enable the Commission achieve its set targets in the current year. I wish to reassure stakeholders in the copyright industries of the Commission's commitment to the actualization of its statutory, regulatory enforcement, copyright promotion and protection mandates. Towards this end, there's a need for closer and sustained levels of collaboration between the Commission and its national and international development partners. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Your enforcement and your court activities, prosecution of cases, it is really very good. My question is, what advice do you have for pirates in 2013? And then the other arm of my question will be a clarification, because in part of the address you estimated the street value of items that were seized to be 4.3. In another part you estimated the value of items that were destroyed to be 4.6 billion. I would want to find out, do we add the two together or are they separate figures?
Beginning of 2012 had an estimated street value of 6.7 billion, and we destroyed a total of 722 million units of pirated goods, and the total estimate of items that we seized as a result of our enforcement actions in 2012 is 4.75 million, if I'm correct. Correct. Okay, so that's the difference. And you asked the question.
Advice to pirates.
Yes, the simple advice to pirates in 2013 and beyond is for them to seek another day job, because the business of piracy is no longer going to be lucrative for pirates. So my simple advice would be for them to seek another day job, because the Nigerian Copyright Commission is committed more than ever before to go after them and arrest them, prosecute them, and send them away. So I would advise them that piracy is no longer a lucrative or profitable business and they should look for another day job.
Which are ABBA and what have you. But still in FCT, I noticed that there are still some piracy, as in some CDs that are pirate. What are you doing to make sure that all these things are out of the market, sir?
We tend to focus on piracy endemic areas. Lagos, Alaba International Market, Onitsha, Aba. These are the places that piracy is very commonplace. That's not to say we ignore the other parts of the country, but you did ask about the FCT. We intend to obviously carry out a few anti-piracy interventions in the FCT this year, as we did last year. An anti-piracy raid within the FCT, which led to the arrest of one person. Books. It was actually book piracy. So we have obviously started the year with the FCT, and we will continue to carry out raids all over the country without ignoring any part of it. Thank you. The source of the piracy, where these items are actually coming from, and our investigation and anti-piracy experience tells us that most of these items are actually originate from those piracy endemic areas that I have mentioned: Alaba International Market, Onitsha, Ochanja Market, and a few others. So we like to focus on the source, because if you are able to get rid of it from the source, I don't see how it can actually get into the market. So we like to focus on the source, and that's why we again struck that collaboration with the Nigerian Customs Service. So if we are able to control piracy locally, we should obviously be able to make an effort to control it in respect of goods coming from outside the country which are pirated. So that synergy between us and the Nigerian Customs is obviously working quite effectively.
I still want to take you back to the issue of the number of copyright works that were confiscated, because I'm really not very clear. Looking at your speech, we have one area where you have that of the rates for ABBA and the markets, and then you have another section where you have that of the containers, and then there's another section for that of 2007 to 2011. I believe we can exempt that of 2007 to 2011 as not being part of 2012. So what exactly is it in total? Do we total that of the markets and the containers as that of 2012? That's the total number. Is that the total number of copyright works? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. For 2012.
In 2012 were 3,621,787, which included the 13 containers that we intercepted at the seaports around the country. So the total value of items seized for 2012 amounted to 4,379,000,000 for that period. That includes the 13 containers. Yes. Question, you have to be listening to what I'm saying. Yeah, okay. In terms of the penalties or sentences imposed for copyright infringement, one of the reasons we are proposing this amendment to the Copyright Act is to obviously make the punishment for copyright infringement stiffer. So that's one of the main areas we'll be focusing on, to make sure that it actually, when someone is convicted of copyright infringement, it actually serves as a deterrent to others as well. The 250,000 fine, you might think it's small, but that's obviously the highest fine imposed, and that was simply based on the numbers of items that were actually recovered from the pirates. But as I said, we're addressing the issue of stiffer penalties in the proposed amendments to the Copyright Act. You did ask another question about the... sorry? Yes, the interagency collaboration. We obviously, we're not just, we don't just have that interagency collaboration with the Nigerian Customs. We also have a collaboration, or we recently struck a collaboration with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and we are in the process of signing an MOU with the EFCC. We also work very closely with the Nigerian police force, and the Nigerian police force has always been one of our collaborators, because we need police backing to carry out our enforcement interventions. We look to partner also with the Standards Organization of Nigeria in our work, and we're already making efforts to be able to partner with them. And there's so many other agencies that we work quite closely with in terms of the gathering of intelligence and information. And so our interagency collaboration initiative remains on course, and we'll continue to strike more and more partnerships with other sister agencies.
I have a follow-up question on the punishment under the current act. What is the maximum for now before even going to seek for a stiffer punishment? And then, what is the update on the act? Have you really presented a draft bill or amendment to the act to the National Assembly?
I'll take the second question, and I'll allow the consultation. We launched the reform of the copyright system in November last year, and as part of this reform process, we are holding consultative meetings, consultations with relevant industry groups within the creative industries. We held our first consultations with the music and broadcast industries in Lagos in December, and we have got other consultation meetings fixed for the first quarter of 2013. In fact, we only just fixed a consultation meeting with the ICT industry and public interest groups for the 19th and 20th of February next month, and we are in the process of arranging those for the film industry, the publishing industry, software industry, and others in the course of the next week or so. So after the end of the consultation period, we will then have an assembly as an executive bill. So we are a few weeks away from that, but at the end of the day, the outcome of the reform would be a draft bill to go to the National Assembly. But we're not quite at that stage yet. But you'll find out more in due course. I'll allow my Director of Prosecution to take the first one.
And all offences also have an option of fine. For the option of fine, the option is being determined at a rate of 100 naira per copy dealt with. 100 naira per copy dealt with for the option. And then for the non-option, which is the mandatory imprisonment, we have as low as 6 months. We've had situations where
we also note that the media is we particularly want to appreciate you for the submission of the solid collaboration in the days and years ahead.
Well, so we should have some guys outside.
Yes, I know. Yeah.